Can I finish the Odyssey before Christopher Nolan's movie comes out? Even though I've had an entire year to read it, I procrastinated, of course, which means now I have exactly 1 week to finish the book. As I started reading, I kept discovering all kinds of interesting facts. For example, did you know the Odyssey was not originally meant to be read? It was meant to be performed. Professional storytellers called rhapsodes would memorize huge sections of the poem and recite them to audiences. That's why the poem has so many phrases and descriptions that feel repetitive, because they serve a practical purpose. It helped fit the poem's rhythm. We don't actually know if Homer existed. Some scholars believe Homer was a single poet, while others think Homer might represent generations of storytellers whose work eventually became the version we read today. Because at the end of the day, we don't actually know how much collaboration can shape a piece of literature and whether it plays a bigger role than we tend to imagine. The Trojan horse isn't in the Odyssey. Most people associate Odysseus with the famous horse, but that story actually belongs to other ancient work. In the Odyssey, the war is mentioned, but it is not part of the story itself. The war is already over. The real story is whether Odysseus can make it home or not. The book is full of epithets. For example, Odysseus is described as someone who is tricky and as the man of many turns. Zeus, the god of the sky and thunder, is described as a cloud gatherer. Athena becomes bright-eyed and owl-eyed, which is associated with strategic wisdom. These are called epithets, fixed descriptive phrases attached to a person, a place, or even a thing, basically an adjective. They help the oral poets maintain the poem's meter, but I love the insight they provide into the culture. I feel like it tells us something about what kind of virtues the ancient Greeks admired. My personal favorite epithet isn't attached to a person at all, but it describes the sky. It's rosy-fingered dawn. It's mentioned that dawn stretches her rosy fingers across the sky, and to me that was one of the most beautiful recurring images in the entire book. The imagery felt cozy and almost palpable, and I truly enjoyed being part of a world that was so alive, in which the sea and the sun and the sky not only are nature, but they exist as a character, which makes sense considering this is Greek mythology, but at some point that line was kind of blurred out, and it doesn't feel like mythology anymore, but it's just reality. And honestly, I'm still in awe after reading the Odyssey. I keep thinking about how this story was so impactful that it literally survived for centuries because people carried it in their heads before they carried it on paper. So have you read the book? Are you planning on doing it? What was your experience? I would love to know. And most importantly, are you planning on watching the new film?